last day, got out early. Shut up, bro. Weird. Hmm. Well, that can be healthy sometimes. Sometimes we need to change people. You want to make a real change, you got to change people, places, and things. So, seeing some new places, doing some things you've always wanted to do but never did, or meeting a new person, having a conversation with somebody different. That can be very healthy. That sounds good. The Mayo magnets were always outliers. I said the Mayo magnets are always outliers. Mm. Well, somebody I seen this one this one Instagram clip. It's like the girl, she went with. She said if you're not getting invited to all the parties, it's because you don't do coke. That's the reason. That's the reason why you don't do coke. That's it. That's the only reason they don't want you there. It's like you didn't. That's why nobody ever invites me anywhere. Mm. Yeah. Chillax. Yeah. What does he do for a living? Corporate ladder. Yeah. that's not good. Health is wealth. And if you're stressing, you're not healthy. Don't do it that way. I had an option between another job and the job I currently have. The other job paid twice as much, but it's in a factory setting, and it's just mundane, mindless work, and I don't think I want to do that anymore. So I'll earn less money, but I can have a positive effect for my community and uh, individuals. And once you get to a spot where, like you say, he feels financially secure. Yeah. 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 I'm big on not stress and anger management. Definitely just I swear, but it's so hard. And once again, just life in general, and this modern time and with life is just stressful. And then once again, your career, your family, and everything else, and trying to maintain your personal health. And it's just like, what the fuck? I don't. I used to smoke weed. I haven't smoked cigarettes since December of last year. I haven't smoked like weed, like the plant, in about 2 months, almost 3 months. So I do have a little vape pen, like a THC vape pen that I use. But I think this is going to be my last year. I'm trying to wean myself off of that. Because, yep. Mm-mm. You can't do that, yeah. I swear. Oh, it is. Doing this shit sober? All the Oh, no. No, no. I don't think I can do it sober. Hmm.
time now. But he had different colored gummies that he told me to try. And he gave me instructions for each one. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It's like, here, take this.
If you want to grow big, take this one. If you want to shrink small.
Right? Okay, so then he told me, he said, this blue one right here. He said, you did not take anything. He said, you cut this up in fourths. Okay, don't take the whole thing. And then he said, this pink one, he said, if you want to see Jesus, you'll take this one. He said, I don't recommend that. Right? So he said the blue one he was telling me was going to energize me. Right? I was like, oh, okay. I took a fourth of that blue one. I do not understand why people like get high or eat. I will never the fuck do it again. I was so dizzy. I think I took it like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I still felt like woozy the next day.
Damn.
And I felt dizzy. And I was telling, my old friend, he was hanging out with me. He told me, he's like, I don't know you listen to you about anything. I was so upset. I did not get any energy. It was quite the opposite. Okay? I felt like I wanted to sleep, lay down, but I couldn't because I was too dizzy.
Damn.
And like I felt like someone had pulled me to the floor. And then I was telling Ernie about it, and Ernie was just like, he said, well, you're just not used to it. He said, did you take a half of it? I said, no, I took a fourth. He's like, oh. He said, well, maybe you're just sensitive. I said, well, never, ever again. that is the last time I will go into the land of wherever y'all go when y'all do these things. Because what the hell?
You say you just nibbled a little piece of it for 2 days.
Yes. It was terrible. And it just lasted me till the next day.
Well, what you do is
I was scared.
next time you talk to Ernie, you get one of them same ones and you send that to me and let me see. Send me one.
I'll tell him to send you samples. I will get a selection sample. I will mail them. Like, can you mail that stuff in the mail? I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Huh?
Yeah, you can mail that.
Okay, well, I will see if I go talk to him. But I still have his little baggie he gave me. And everybody's like, did you take them all? No.
Hell no, I ain't eating that shit.
No. Like, did you not know me? Like, this is the first time I even tried these things. And the first time was Won. The second time was definitely Won. I'd never do it again. And I was telling my friend, and her husband said, you weren't dizzy, you were high. I was like, so this is how people feel when they're high. They feel dizzy. Is that how they feel?
No.
I said, I don't know what the fuck was happening. It was terrible. But I did give him one. Like, my friend told him, but he used to be an addict, so. But he's not anymore. And he took a pink one, and he's like, that didn't bother him at all. I was like, what the hell?
No, I got my medical card. I have a medical card, so I've tried like all of it, like all the weed products. And I don't know, some of the gummies don't even affect me at all. That's why I'm like, oh, you got a strong one? Let me see.
It's not strong. I think it's strong for me.
Yeah, well, and that's something else too. I tried to tell my son one time because he was talking about smoking and everything. I'm like, bro, our body chemistries are different, and everything is not for everybody. I can't fucking drink. I can't. I'm a very lightweight when it comes to drinking. Maybe two or three beers, maybe a couple shots, and that's it. I'm slap stupid drunk after that. If I have more than 2 shots or more than like 3 beers, I'm done. And I've seen some guys drink a 6-pack, drink 9 beers, or drink a half a bottle of liquor, and they're still fine. I'm like, my body won't allow me to do that. My body does not metabolize alcohol in the same way. Period. And I've learned that about myself, and so I'm not a big drinker. I just know it. That shit don't jive with me. And
I'm not a big anything because I should have known. Because like when I do drink, like I can get a buzz, but I usually have one drink and that's it. And sometimes I've actually gotten bored and just put it down. Like
yeah, it's like I don't even want this.
This just might not be for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not know why people do drugs. I don't know.
No, it's a very a very individualistic thing. I have a cousin right now. This dude is just fighting a major addiction, and he cannot beat it. He cannot beat this thing. And I try to talk to him and encourage him and motivate him, but his addiction is super strong. You know, he understands he has an addiction. He's been in and out of rehab a couple times, but he can't beat that dragon. And and for him, you know, like he can't get enough of it. You know, it's nonstop from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep. And then for people like you, it's just like I just nibbled on this thing and I couldn't do shit for 2 days.
I felt betrayed. Like when we were younger, I was drinking with Heather, and Heather's like, "Yeah, just drink this, and this," and I like trusted her, and I blacked out. I was so mad. I was so mad. Like, you expect your friends to like look out for you, and I was just like, I'm so mad at her. I said, "Listen, if you just drunk," they're like, "Oh well." Like, oh my God, I'm not trusting you again.
Dang.
It's terrible. But no, I'm done. I'm done. I need to find something else that I like to do recreationally.
Yeah, you should start knitting.
Yes. I want to learn how to. Yes, I want to learn how to crochet.
So
And
much fun.
listen, what do you call it? Go ahead.
And I was gonna say that's a very good occupation thing to do when you want to relax or when you're frustrated. I'm sorry. I just
Are you?
I just yes, exactly.
See, before this year, I would not have known. My friend is a bad influence on me. I would have known nothing. I'd have been like, are you sick? But now I know.
Is you smoking? Yes.
Now I know.
That's those that's the brain association thing. Like I was not thinking about it. He's like, "Do you still smoke it?" He's like, "You know what? I got my vape pen in my pocket right now. Maybe I should smoke." Maybe I should smoke right now. Since you told me what.
You're on the good foot. You're on the good foot.
Oh.
No, I really think my friend needs to stop smoking. He needs to stop. But he doesn't need to do it. And I'm only saying it because I think that he has diabetes or he's pre-diabetic. I don't know. But from what I'm reading, that's not a good combination.
No, it's not.
So if that's the case, he needs to cut it out. And if he can't cut it out, then you probably have a problem. You know, but
that's why I stopped the cigarettes last year. I was having like chest pain. I was like, yo, because I have a 3-story house, and if I go from like the first floor to try to come upstairs to the 3rd floor, and it's just like I'm breathing really heavy, and my chest hurts a little bit. I was like,
what do you mean that you have a 3-story house? Please send me a picture of your house.
I see. It's not I have a very old house. This is like 100-year-old house. It's not some new fancy construction or something. This is an old ass Pennsylvania home.
I mean, it might be, but the fact that you said 3, like, you mean an attic and 2, like upstairs and downstairs? Or like, what in the heck?
Well, whoever had the house, whoever had it before me, they turned the attic into a 3rd floor. So there's two bedrooms on the top floor. There's 3 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, and then the 1st floor is, living room, dining room, and kitchen and foyer area.
Okay, so I know you were seeing your little lady, and she was living there with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming you were making space for your son. So
He did.
why do you feel like you need? Wait, what other room is your studio?
Huh?
I'm trying to figure out how you have why you have 5 bedrooms. I was trying to work it out, like
Well, like I said, so the attic was converted into 2 bedrooms, and so when I saw the house, I just immediately, well, when I bought the house, I was single, so I was literally just thinking about myself, and my son wasn't back in my life at that time. So my thoughts were, the 3rd floor is my studio. So I technically have 3 bedrooms because on the third floor, one room is my actual workspace. I'm on the third floor in my studio now. This is where all my paints and brushes and everything is at. This is my work area. Across the hall in the other bedroom is my storage area. So I keep all of my blank canvases. I have a couple of bookshelves with my library over there. My extra easels and stands and a lot of other equipment like some of my photography equipment. So so the third floor is just my floor, and nobody really ever comes up here except me. Like there's no reason for anybody to come on the third floor. But uh, if it's listed as 5 bedrooms.
In a minute, baby. Um, she said, don't want to be in the East Wing. There's no reason.
There's no reason for you to be there. What are you doing in there? There's nothing in there but paints and brushes.
Listen, you have the, in my mind, you have that little rose floating under the little glass.
You're the beast.
Yes.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
See, if you had an iPhone, I would FaceTime you, but you don't have an iPhone.
Yes, that I would have FaceTime. I don't do FaceTime. I don't want to. When I'm at home, I sit around and skimmies and whatever.
Oh, damn.
I want to see so much I FaceTime me. Like my friend, she made me so mad. She was supposed to pick me up and I was supposed to go somewhere with her and her daughter. I told her I started to be ready at 3 o'clock. I said, do not come before 3. And she's like, well, we're at the store. I said, that's fine. I said, I'm not coming out of this house before 3 o'clock. And then she shows up and she's like, my daughter has to go to the bathroom. I said, I said, it is 2:45. I said, I am naked. I said, I'm not opening that door.
Damn.
I said, leave me. I said, I told you I would be ready at 3 o'clock. I said, I need every minute.
Every minute of that. I need all the minutes.
So when I'm at the house, I'm not FaceTiming no one. Oh, and listen, when we went to court, I made sure my lawyer took out FaceTime.
Oh, damn.
I said, absolutely not. I said, tell that man to call him children. And he said, well, that's pretty standard. And I said, I said, do not do the FaceTime. Could you imagine? You know how kids do. And Daddy, and this is mommy in her room. No, get out. That's how I envisioned it. Okay,
that's smart. That's pretty standard, not for this one. No, we're not going to go a standard route with this one.
And he said, you just tell the children to stay in your room. And I looked at him, I'm thinking,
yeah, you must be don't got kids. Yeah, you must be don't have kids, bro.
I remember when they first started having calls with their dad, he would call, but I think he would call more so to see what was going on, just to see what the information was.
So you can eavesdrop on the background noise.
Yeah, and so sometimes the children would try and bring their phone in there and talk in there with me, and I would just be dead quiet. And one time they just left his phone in there, and he was calling me, he's like, Helen, and I just eased on out of the room. I was like,
damn.
You're not talking. Talk to the kids. He was so upset. He does not really call too much anymore. No, he doesn't really call at all unless he wants to announce Daddy is coming to get you. Even though I've been gone for 40 days, 40 nights. I just not call. But anyway, tell me about your spiritual stuff that you believe at this time. Oh, no, don't tell me about spiritual stuff. Tell me about the ghost. And I bet it was in the house.
It was in my house.
Listen, see, that's another reason why you can't FaceTime me. Your little boogie will come through the screen. You're not doing that.
No, that shit it was in my bedroom, yo. So I actually excuse me. I used to listen to this this one atheist show. And it's called The Atheist Experience out of Austin, Texas. And and I would be hard body on this show for I watched it for a couple of years actually, because they just had really good arguments. And the guy, one of the main hosts of the show, Matt Dillahunty, he was going to ministry to be an ordained minister, and so he comes from a very very religious background. Always went to church, and he went to the military, and he got out of the military, and said he had a couple of odd jobs, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna give my life to Christ, and I'm gonna be a preacher. And so going through missionary and everything, the more he really, really like hardcore studied the Bible, and then doing subsequent research on, okay, when do scholars say this document was written, or what time era was this, or did other cultures tell this same story, and did the Christian culture borrow? And so the more he learned, he was like, most of the Bible is bullshit. He was like, it's just there are no talking snakes. There was no world. There was no catastrophic flood that destroyed the whole planet, and then one family repopulated the whole planet. It's like a lot of it just don't make sense. And so, in his quest to be a preacher, it turned him the other way. And so he started hosting the show. Anyway, so I watched the show for years and years. And the experience I had was so unworldly, so unnatural, so supernatural, that I actually had to call their fucking show. And my reasoning for calling was, so they call and they ask, okay, so why do you want to talk to our host? And my reason was, I've had a personal experience that leads me to understand why some people can believe in the supernatural. Not saying that I believe in it, but I can understand why people would believe in it if they had a very similar experience to me. I'll send you the link to that episode where I was trying to describe. But so I normally get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So set my alarm, get up at 4. I normally go to the gym for about an hour and do all my prep and then go to work. So it was a regular morning of nothing out of the ordinary. I got my alarm went off. I got up. I have a very like structured routine. So like as soon as I get out the bed, I make my bed, and but I sleep with a pillow between my legs. So there's always a pillow at the bottom of the bed. So I'm making the bed. I grab the pillow from the bottom of the bed and I kind of toss it up towards the headboard where the other pillows are at. And then as I'm making this motion of like tossing the pillow, there's this thing. It flies up from like the other side of. I'm on one side of the bed. It flies up from the other side of the bed. Flies up towards the ceiling, it swoops around the room, and then it swoops in front of my face, like really close in front of my face. And then it kind of like swoops back down to the other side of the bed. But I
was telling you there was no reason to be in the East Wing.
yo, but this thing, like when it came towards my face, I almost fell back because it was like it was moving so fast. So I tried to dip away from it, and like the gesture that I made so that it wouldn't touch my face, like I almost fell backwards on my ass. I caught myself from stumbling. I ran out my room, and so I have 14 stairs. I jumped 14 fucking stairs to the floor, to the bottom. I didn't. And I jumped those fucking stairs, and my heart was racing and it was pounding. And my first thought was, what was that? My second thought is, I got some animal in my house. And my third thought was, I need to call animal control or something. So that was my initial thought process. Is there some kind of animal in my house, and it's in my room? So at 4 o'clock in the morning, no animal emergency rescue things are answering their phone. So I gather myself. I go upstairs and then I close my bedroom door. I'm outside the room though. And then I know my at the time the boss I had, he gets up really early. So I called him. I was like, bro, I was like, dude, I got something in my room. I don't know if it's a bat or a bird or what, man, but I said I might be in a little late so I can figure out how to get this damn shit out of my house. He was like, dude, go in a room, open a window, and close the door and let it find its way out. I was like, that's a simple and easy solve. So I did just that. I took off my flip flop and I had that shit ready like a machete. And I walked in the room and I just eased my way over to a window. I opened the window. I left out, closed the door, got ready, and I went to work. And so coming home that day, I went into the bedroom and I looked around that whole room. And there was nothing in there. And so now I'm looking for like an entry point. Like, how did it get in my bedroom without me knowing? Because it was there at 4 o'clock in the morning when I woke up. So it had to have been in the room with me for some amount of time without me ever being aware of it. And my room is on the second floor, and my room door was closed. So it had to either come through a crack, and I don't know. I don't have a lot of cracks in my house. There were no. It was cold out, so the windows were open. And then I'm looking for like fur or feathers or dirt or anything that said there was an animal here, and I couldn't find anything. There was no evidence that an animal was in the room. And so now I'm trying to brush it off, but I can't. And then I start like replaying the thing in my head again, and it's like whatever I saw, it didn't make a sound. So there was no flapping of wings. There was no squawking or chirping or anything like that. It was completely silent. And then the more I thought about it, it was like, did I even see wings or eyes or? And no, this thing was like void of a shape. It was literally like a solid shadow that moved extremely fast and made no noise. And so now I'm trying to figure out like, okay, what could that have been? And so I sat on this thing for like another 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, on the third day, I'm like, I think I had a hallucination. I think I probably hallucinated something. And so I sat on that thought for like a day or two, and then I called one of my buddies down in South Carolina. I was like, bro, I got to talk to you about something because it would not. Once I analyzed the situation and realized it wasn't an animal, but I couldn't absolutely distinguish what it was. It like kept my mind, and I couldn't. And then I kept replaying like how I reacted to it, the way I jumped down those stairs, and the way my body felt. It was terror. I've been scared before. I've been scared a couple of times. I've never felt I was in terror.
Yeah, I figured you had to be if you got 14 foot,
Um,
14 stairs.
and so I talked to my buddy and I told him like I think I had a hallucination, man. And my brain played like this weird trick on me, and I just saw something, and I can't really describe it or like there is nothing I can compare it. But what I saw, there's nothing else in reality that I've been able to compare that to. And then I was dating a girl at the time, but this is before she moved here. So one weekend she came up and This was after the incident. This was like a couple of weeks after the incident. Maybe
Wait,
maybe
what is her name? Because we keep calling her the girl, and I feel like I've infected you. What's her name?
Marisa.
Marisa. Okay.
And so we're here on it was a Saturday morning. I'm I'm in the shower. She comes in the bathroom and she's brushing her teeth and we're chatting a little bit. And I could have swore like she left out the bathroom. And then so I'm still showering and then she said something and I was like, oh shit. And then she's like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, no." I opened the curtain and she was still standing there. I was like, "Oh shit." She was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought you left out." She was like, "No." She was like, "We like, yeah, like you saw a ghost or something." And I was like, "No, I'm good." And then she was like, "You know, I saw a ghost in here, right?" I'm like, "What?" She was like, the one weekend she stayed here, and I guess I was downstairs playing a game or something. Or no, I think I ran an errand. And she said I wasn't here. I must have ran an errand, and she said that she was leaving. If you leave out the bathroom, you can see the door to all three rooms on the second floor from that angle. She said she was coming out of the bathroom, and she saw this this black shadowy thing float from my bedroom and go into the guest bedroom. And she said it moved kind of quick, and she she looked inside the guest bedroom and she's like, it wasn't in there. It just left your room and went in that room. And I went in there to look, and then she was like, there was nothing in there. And she's like, that was it. And she's like, I only saw it one time. But she she just said like this black shadowy thing, and that's exactly kind of like what I saw. And I never described it to her. I really thought I had a hallucination, and I was kind of ashamed and embarrassed of it. And so I never told her that. I never told her what I really saw. And she described that to me.
Yeah.
And so I sat with that for a couple of months. And then that's when I called that's when I called
You
that,
said we got for a couple of months in the house with that thing.
oh well
Okay.
the first night when it happened and I got home from work and I really started thinking about it, yo, I slept with every light on in this house and I didn't sleep in my room for almost a week. For almost a week. I didn't even sleep on the second floor. I slept on the couch for about a week with all the lights on in the house. Like I was fucking scared.
But are you sleeping in your room now?
Yeah, I sleep in there just fine. And so like after a couple of months I called it Atheist Network and I was like, I think I understand why some people can believe in the supernatural. And they told me I told my story and it was like, yeah, it was probably a bat, you know. You probably just had a bat in your house because bats they can get in really small spaces and crevices, and you know they don't make a lot of noise when they're flying. I'm like,
I've
yeah,
seen bats inside of buildings before.
yeah, I have too. But for it to get in my house is one thing. For it to get in the house and then get in my bedroom is another thing. And for it to get in my bedroom and not disturb me throughout the entire night, but is there when I wake up, that is something different.
So what did your friend think about what was she thinking at the time? Did you ever tell her?
I told her I saw something, and she was like, "Yeah, I told you it's ghosts." Like she always believes in that stuff. She's like, you know, crystals and chakras and karma and ghosts and all that stuff. And I was just like,
Oh, she was just totally cool with it. Just went back to
yeah. She never. I was like, why didn't you tell me that you saw something? She's like, it wasn't a big deal. I didn't even. It just disappeared. I didn't see it no more. I'm like, yo, sure, you still should have told me you saw a ghost in my house.
my God. See, this. I can't handle. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I listen. I would have come through with it. I would have come
So,
through.
but also,
I'm standing out in the yard because you got some shit in your house.
but also,
Oh my
like
God.
after it happened, and I told my buddy. I had a coworker. She doesn't work there anymore, but her husband's a pastor, and you know they're very devout Christians, and It's always, God bless you and this and that. And I told her the story, and because I knew this was what she was gonna say. She was gonna say, "Well, I'm a pray for you." And I was like, "Yo, I might need that." And then personally, I've never seen it again. I only saw it one time, and then some nights, like since I've been living by myself for a while again, it's like some nights I'd be like, this might be the night you see that shit again. But like I've never saw it again. Just one time.
Are you sure your friend is bringing with her if she's in tow?
It's a poltergeist. Yeah, I was like, yo, don't bring the poltergeist this way, and keep them things where you at. But
You're like, you cannot bring your crystals.
I don't know. And after that, like I was like, let's on to this whole after because I already know like we are not our bodies, and we don't really understand what consciousness is or where consciousness arises from. There's something greater to us than just the flesh and bone part of ourselves. We literally generate energy, and we operate on many different frequency levels. And so I think there is something.
I told you so.
Yes, yeah, you get it. It took a ghost. It took a ghost for me to be like, oh, that's what they be talking about. Okay, all right,
Tell you
okay.
about my little weird experiences that I've had. Or no?
No.
Okay, well, let me tell you about one. Now this one that happened to me, so I ignored it, kind of. But I had this little dude that I was kind of seeing, and we were just having a normal conversation. We were just standing there, and the best I can describe it as a vision, because it was like a flash. He was just talking, and like over his face, I saw like the little clay, like a clay vessel, you know, like you would see in like Legend Zelda, where he picks them up and throws them down, like one of those clay vessels.
Yeah.
And like for some reason there was air just going in and out of it. Just I don't know what that meant, other than maybe he was empty or he had no soul. Okay, so there was that. And then whenever same thing happened with the kid's dad, we were standing outside my mom's house and we were having a conversation. It was nighttime. And then suddenly, like, he was just talking. We could have been talking about the weather. I don't know. It was just something mundane. And like all of a sudden, on the side of his head, it suddenly looked like the half of a rotten apple, and like black worms were just falling out of it.
Oh damn.
Yes, right. And I was just thinking, because that doesn't usually happen to me. Like now that I know what I know, this probably was a warning. And I told Heather about it, like years and years later. And she's like, why didn't you pay attention to that? I said, who was I gonna tell? Like I was seeing things,
Yeah.
And then there was this one guy, like when I was working at Barnes and Noble, and he was wearing like a little hoodie, and he was like a really tall black guy, and he was really cute or whatever. But I was just checking out his book, and I didn't say anything to him. And I happened to make eye contact with him, and I felt like this like sharp thing like in my chest or in my heart. And it wasn't one of those electric love at first sight situation. Like I felt like it was like a little electric, like a probe, like really quick and sharp and hard, right? And I felt that, but I didn't say anything to him. And he just looked at me. He's like, nope. He's like, you couldn't handle me, and he left. So there was that. That was weird to me. And other than that, ever since I was little, I've always my mom has told me some of her little spooky things she said. I always used to pray to God that I never, ever saw any like spooky stuff. But instead, what happens to me is that I've had people who, I don't know, there's something with them, I don't know if it's mystical, like people who tell the future, whatever, they will come to me instead. And in my mind, that's just whatever that is, like reaching out through people, Does that make sense? Like, I had this man, I think I was at a gas station, and I guess I was having a first date, he was telling me stopped to talk to me. He was telling me about things that were going to happen to me, like, I guess in that time frame. And he said he stopped me because of what the thoughts that I was thinking in my mind, which he was accurate about, you know. And I mean, it was wild. I saw him. I bumped into him a couple of times, and he told me just random different shit. And I met this woman in the grocery store, and it started out with she was just an old little lady, and she just wanted me to read something for her. She told me about her daughter and just her little life, and then suddenly she started telling me how she sits and she speaks to God at night when she sits on a bench and everything. Just random little weird little situations. And like when my brother died, like before we knew, my mom said that she was sleeping and she heard him call her name.
I think some of us are more connected to the ether than we think. Pretty unnerving. And still, once again, it's just something I've only experienced once, and I don't want to see it again. Um, I, video. Yeah, I get that. And also, I was like, was that death? Did I just dodge death or something? Like, what that thing would have touched me? Like, I don't know what that was. Hmm. They're always there. Yeah, they're always there. And sometimes they can like slip from their side to our side. All right. I'm so refreshed though. That house ain't never been. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. He was always there. She said he was always there. Oh, you already been here before me? That's fine. I'll leave. I ain't know this place was occupied. Yeah. I'm definitely not him. I'm the guy that's like, yo, I bought this house. Yo, I live here now, man. You gonna have to, I'm like, grandma, yo, you gonna have to leave because I'm not leaving, man. You been here for 272 years, man. You can get up out of here, man. I can't have the ghost push me out. This is my first house. This is my first house I ever bought, bro. You trying to squeeze me out of here already, man? Look, man, I just got here. Yeah, it ain't all that. I'm gonna tell you right now. Especially in America, it's just like still, it's just paying rent. I still gotta pay all these property taxes and school taxes and city taxes. Like I might as well just rent a damn. I just might as well rent the house. If I gotta pay all these taxes, it's like wait a minute. This ain't evening out like I thought. I know that's right. He ain't asking for much. Mhm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Romance without finance is a nuisance. Romance without finance is a nuisance. Mhm. You were young, my child. Jesus, like you were young, my child. It's okay. better, better start investing your money. We already know it. If the business is already out there, shit. Hmm. Okay. Uh-oh. There's definitely some kind of setup. Okay. I don't know. Girl, you already know. Oh, hell, I'm gonna let you go. Let me wrap up in the studio and get these brushes and stuff. All right, bye. Woo, Lord. Now, I haven't talked to that friend in a couple of years, so we had a lot of catching up to do. But yo, 3 hours and 21 minutes we were on the phone just now. 3 hours and 21 minutes. That's a long time to be on the phone with somebody. I know I could have cleaned my brushes while I was on the phone, but sometimes you gotta have that one excuse. I gotta go close this window. Let me call you back after I close this window. Oh, I gotta put my socks on real quick. Let me call you back as soon as I get these socks on. But no, the main reason I did get off the phone just now is, oh yeah, I know. I was in here for 2 hours before I started the stream. I was like, let me at least. I was like, they might be looking for me this afternoon. They like, this nigga not streaming today. That shit, I want to focus. Three hours and 21 minutes. 3 hours and 21 minutes. Yo, that's how long we were just on the phone, yo. But I really wanted to get off so I can share this song with you guys real quick. My phone battery, my battery about burnt all the way up, bro. Hey. But we did get some painting done. I was in here painting the whole time, yo. I wasn't not painting. I was just painting while I was on the phone. I got some more details in their earring. And I added some highlights here, some highlights on the nose and on the cheek right there, on the forehead a little bit. So I think even though I brighten her lip up a little bit, so I think her skin tone is done.
Dropouts make the team. Life, be life, have you stressed out? Some people trifling, hold your chest out, leave you checked out. Be your best now. Always wear your best crown. You can let yourself down. The hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. Tell me what's your passion? Can you show some action? Put the plan in motion, then go dancing. I watch my reflection, don't look for perfection. Every major setback has been your biggest lesson. In the hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up.
I had to put the word tier, like levels or tiers, instead of like tears, because I put tier and it kept sounding like tear before I start to tear up. I was like, no, it's tier. Just say tier. Tears, like cry. So I just substituted that word. I was like, I'll just put tier instead of tier. But one more time for the top. Our brand new song.
Dropouts make the team. Life, be life, have you stressed out? Some people trifling, hold your chest out, leave you checked out. Be your best now, always wear your best crown. You can let yourself down. The hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up.
All the mirrors. You ain't looking at nobody but yourself. Always wear your best crown. You can't never let yourself down. When I watch my reflection, I don't look for perfection.
Tell me what's your passion? Can you show some action? Put the plan in motion, then go dancing. I watch my reflection, don't look for perfection. Every major setback has been your biggest lesson. In the hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the hall of mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. Trap house entertainment.
I'm gonna take this one off. I think I like the first one the best. I'll let y'all decide. The first one or this version right here.
Life, daily life, have you stressed out? Some people trifling, pull your chest out. We reject out, be your best now. Always wear your best crown. You can't let yourself down. In the hollow mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the hollow mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. Tell me what's your passion, can you show some action? Put the plan in motion, then go dancing. I watch my reflection, don't look for perfection. Every major setback has been your biggest lesson. In the heart, mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the heart, mirrors, I can see it clearer. I just need to cheer up before I start to tear up. In the heart, mirrors.
It's in the prompt on Mizu. It's in the prompt. I said upbeat. No, or I say up tempo. Up tempo, upbeat, or whatever. Like, so I did put it in the prompt. I wanted to have some pizzazz. But like you say, the moodiness, that's why I put both of them on there, bro. Like that first one, that beat just hit kind of hard and moody. And the second one just like, bah, 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 bah. So now I'm fucking torn. We'll see, but either way, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 songs on that EDM album. I don't
Do it now! Trap house entertainment. Do it now.
But see, I got a lot of stuff like the fucking really upbeat stuff. So I might keep the moody one, just a change of pace a little bit.
Life, be life, have you stressed out? Some people try living, hold your chest up. We reject out, be your best self. Always wear your best crown. You can let yourself down. The whole of mirrors, I can see it.
Oh boy. All right, guys. Let me get up out of here. It's already 6 o'clock. Let me go do something else. Eat me some dinner and get ready for tomorrow. I sure appreciate you guys sticking this stream out with me. It was a little weird because I was on the phone the whole time. But we'll try it again tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie, I'm just not liking that for some reason. Hold on. I don't think I'll be able to sleep right tonight. But then I know, like, if I do too much, I'm gonna wind up having to paint her entire forehead over, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to paint the whole forehead over. I definitely don't like a certain part of this color transition. Yeah, honestly, I don't really need that, but I feel like I'm about to fuck some shit up. And I really shouldn't even do this. That's how I feel. Come on, Trap. Match them colors, nigga. Match the colors good, bro. So y'all gotta paint the whole thing over, bro. Match the motherfucking colors, dog. Don't fuck it up. What am I not? I'm not seeing something. And it's breaking my goddamn brain. It's just the slightest little fucking color transition. It's hurting my mind. Man, I'll be in this bitch all damn night, man. I'm ready. Hey, I'm about to call it a wrap. I'll be in here all night doing this shit. But ain't nobody gonna call me a lame painter. Lame painter my ass. All right, I think that's about the most I can do right now. Anyway, that'd be about the most I can do. It looked good though. I ain't gonna lie. I like it. I feel like some of them that forehead transition right there wasn't great. It looked good, but I don't just be going for good, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be great. Trying to be great. Trying to be great. All right, I'm satisfied now. I'm done. I am done for the day. You've been here a little bit longer than normal, and that's fine with me. As long as I can see some results from it. You was in there for extra time and did what? Nothing. Oh, we can't live like that. But I put some extra time in and I see a little bit of results. Yeah, I guess it'll pass. Oh, I'm about to knock everything down. It's like the glasses are adding just this little shadow right above the glasses. And I don't know, it's making like a weird transition. But now with some of these extra shadows and highlights, it really looks like they're sitting on her face. So now just detailing her hair one more time, but I'm definitely going to switch over and do this brown skin tone next. So I think I'm going to leave mom's face alone. I'm going to say her face is done. I'm thinking her face is done. Even from, that distance, it looks great. So we'll do skin tone. I did work on her glasses earlier too, so we got that done. Yeah, I got a bunch of details in her glasses. Added that little piece of glass, like the arm that you can see through her hair, and then the tail end of the glasses there. Those little hairs coming into the box spray, I like those. That looks good. Yes, her glasses are looking nice and crisp. Mom glasses has some nice reflections on there, highlights. We did add a little more detail to the earring, so that earring is definitely going to need one more detail there when those gray stripes dry. Add some highlights on those. I think I'll do that when I come back to do the hair. And like I say, yeah, the biggest thing will be this coat again. Trying to go over that coat and seeing if we can get it with just a few more highlights, or do we have to paint that whole thing over again? And I'm hoping we don't have to paint the whole thing over again. We took our time on it the first time around, so like I said, we got the bulk of it out the way. Yeah, fruits of labor, but it just takes a little bit to get there. Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm satisfied with this for today, guys. I sure appreciate your company, and checking out the progress on the portraits. We'll try it again tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time. We're out of here. Peace.